in the input, as you can see, the tab down, we have the financial plan here. This is the first page lah, right? And then the input, so only you can actually key in the data, right? Which you can get the information for your administrative budget, marketing budget, as well as your operations budget. Name of your business. Now, if let's say you don't have any land or building, you have any because somehow or other the Excel template has been if you list some of the things inside here, plan, you have some computer, your machineries, right? Computer is considered as machineries, right? So fittings, you can just add in here. Right? You can put here machines. Right? How much you bought the computer? Say 3,000. Okay, and then you have your furniture and fittings. Okay, so that will be, let's say 8,000, right? And working capital, as you know, working capital are all those monthly expenses that you have to spend every month. Like for example, the rental of the office. Okay, rental. How much is your rental? 1,500. Okay, and then your salary. Remember, when you put the salary here, it is for the salary of the administrative staff, inclusive of the finance manager and also the general manager, if you have one. Okay, so if you don't have that, it means it will be administrative manager, the finance manager. Okay, and if you have a general manager, you also put the salary of general manager in this particular expenditure. And then if you have a clerk or a secretary, who else? Office boy, no need lah, huh? You are a small business, isn't it? So you don't need all those people, right? So it will be just a salary of 3 of you or 2 of you, inclusive of EPF and also social contribution. Let's say altogether is 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then what else that you spend every month in your administrative expenditure? What else do you have in your budget? Mana admin manager? Do you have admin manager here? Anyone? I cakap seorang ke ni? Are you online? Alone? Yes, utilities, correct. So you can also include here your utilities, right? In the office lah, huh? Now, if let's say you are operating your shop and your office at a different place, okay, that means you will have utilities in your operation expenditure also, okay, and also the rental, okay, because you don't own the place, for example, or unless you rent an office, but then your operations is in a food truck, okay, that means you don't have rental for the office in the operations lah, or the shop itself, but rather you have a food truck. So you can put here your truck. Okay, how much is your truck? Let's say 87,900. All right, so that will be your fixed asset. All right, so utilities every month, let's say all together is 560 ringgit. This includes your Wi-Fi lah, your telephone, your water, your electricity, okay? And then other expenditure. Okay, so other expenditure includes anything else that you buy for that particular accounting year, right? That you doesn't requires you to buy monthly, okay, but rather it is just yearly expenditure. Like for example, you buy your stationery can be considered as other expenditure because not all stationery that you buy every month. And if let's say there are some of your stationery that you buy monthly, then you can put here some stationery money. But then you split kan lah which stationery that you buy monthly, which stationery that you buy yearly. Okay, like you don't really buy stapler every month, right? Not. Kalau macam paper, yes, perhaps you will need paper every month. Atau you can just buy for the one whole year and then you keep it, and because paper tak expire pun kan, right? So you can just what they call it, consider it as other expenditure. So you can put your stationery here, right? Let's say altogether 450 ringgit. Okay, as you know, pre-operation are things that you need to pay before you start operating. Of course, it includes some of the deposit of your rental and also utilities. Okay, so let's say rental, normally the landlord or the owner will ask for 2 months in advance, and then you plus some of the utilities deposit. This one is 3,000, let's say 4,000. Okay, altogether deposit will be 4,000, right? And business and registration, you know, registration costs 68 ringgit. You don't have any vehicles here, so no need to put any vehicles, and also insurance and other expenditure that you require to purchase before you start operating. Okay, if there is any lah, right? Next is the marketing expenditure. So what will be the fixed assets for a marketing department? Anyone? Normally you have, if let's say you have a shop, then you wanted to display all of those finished goods. Let's say you open up a bakery, right? So in that bakery, you have first thing you need a signboard, right? So your signboard can be considered as a fixed asset because you bought it, how to say, for long-term use, right? And then it is nicely designed and everything, so it could cost you 5,000 ringgit. Okay, and then you may have some of your furniture, your racks, all right, the furniture. Okay, so you will be okay displaying all your items on that particular rack, so it will perhaps cost you 1,000. Okay. Right. Yes.
If we if administrative space, marketing space, and operation space is together in a building, we doesn't need to include land and building in marketing and operation, right? We just put it in administrative expenditure, right?
Correct. Yes. Okay, that's a good question and a good answer also. Right. So it doesn't matter where you actually put it, whether it's actually in marketing itself or the operation itself, but what is important, you do not double count it or you do not miscounting it. Meaning to say you do not leave it as not counted or you do not put it as double counting. Okay, so as long as dia tak sama lah. If let's say the furniture and fittings in the admin is also being used in the shop itself, right? So you don't have to put furniture anymore here or furniture anymore here, right? Let's say this is a bakery lah, okay? You're talking about a bakery. 1, 2, 3 ABC bakery. So you got the truck here, but then you just have your production, your kitchen is also the same floor, the same place as your what they call it, the shop itself. Meaning kitchen is at the back, then you can display your bakery products in front of the what they call shop, and then at the same time also you have a small office inside that particular shop also, right? So all together is inside here, right? Inside this particular rental for the shop is also here lah, considered here. Okay, and then for your operation, you might have of course all your ovens and so on, right? So you have your own machines in the operation, so you can put there how much is the machine. Mungkin boleh lah kok sampai 87,000 tu. Okay, so let's leave it like that. And then what else is your operations punya fixed assets? Some equipments. Okay, some of your equipments, let's say it costs you 4,000, right? And then raw material, of course, you have bought some of your raw material. Later I will show this one. Next one is this Working capital for marketing, of course, you have salary, right? So normally this one is salary lah. How much is the salary of your marketing manager? And then perhaps you do some promotion, okay, that you do every month. So promotion, you buat advertisement dalam Facebook ke, you air it on radio ke every month, okay? So up to you how much promotion you want to do and where you want to do it, how much you want to spend, let's say 300 per month, okay? Other expenditure for marketing expenditure will be 25 for the okay, you want to do an opening ceremony as you first day of operation, you want to make it grand, you nak panggil siapa boleh atau yang Sarawak tu apa nama dia, soy you nak panggil ramai kenal punya bakery and so on, so you must say 10,000 for the grand opening, right? You panggil dia, oh, sorry. Right, you panggil dia, you datang dan you beli makanan, lepasang belon lah, panggil DJ lah datang and so on, provided tak ada SOP for that one lah, okay? And then tak ada deposit, business registration already covered here, so you don't need to put anything, there's no motor vehicle and so on, and other expenditure mungkin tak ada, so that is the total of your, that's all for your marketing expenditure. Next, for your operation here, raw materials, okay? So as you know, every month you will buy the raw materials for you to bake, right now, okay? So let's say every month you are going to, of course, every month you are buying different amount of raw materials, which depending on how much sales you want to make, isn't it? Okay, so look at the first month, how much is it? Let's say for the first month it was 1,500. So let's see, when I put here 1,500, look at this purchase projection, yeah? As I enter this, automatically you will see all the purchase projection down here is 1,500. Okay, and you cannot change here. You see, the moment I want to type something, keluarlah benda ni. So the first month you cannot change. If you want to change this first month, you change here. Kata oh tak jadi 1,500, but you nak tukar kepada 2,000. Say you see here all become 2,000, right? Okay. So kata oh tak jadilah 1,800. Okay. So now it's 1,800. Now every month you will buy your raw material based on your sales projection, which is your sales forecast. Okay, so your sales forecast is from your marketing department lah, marketing punya plan. How much is the sales projection? Let's say for the first month you are earning 200,000. It automatically everything will become 200,000 also. This happen. Okay, this can happen if let's say you are producing some amount and you can sell the same amount, because you will make sure that every time or every month you just produce according to your capacity. Okay, capacity. Meaning all the machines that you have in your shop, okay, and your capacity at the moment, meaning how many workers are there, how much raw material you can afford to buy, right? So you are producing that certain amount, that's fixed amount every month, okay, provided the demand is much more than supply. Okay, meaning to say there are so much demand, but then regardless of whatever demand it is, since you kata you can only produce let's say one particular bakery product cost you 10 ringgit lah, 200,000 divided by 10 ringgit, meaning 20,000 per month, divide with, let's say you work 30 days. Right, so 666, 67. Meaning to say every day you can only produce 666, 67 lah. Okay, 667 units of your bakery products. Alright, so that's it. You can't afford to produce more because your capacity is that much. So that's why you can actually sell that 667 per day, provided that your demand is much more than that. Meaning to say demand bila customer datang pun at the end of the day, oh dah habis roti, oh dah habis dah puff, dah habis dah cake, dah habis dah you punya sourdough and so on, right? Or your brownies. So that can happen, alright? But according to the calculation that I teach you on how to do your sales forecast, it is based on demand. Meaning to say based on your market share, right? So you're expecting that this will be the demand for that particular month, that will be demand for that particular year. All right, so you can change. All right, so first month perhaps is 200,000, and then second month people get to know you more better, so it becomes 230,000. So you can change. As you can see, you change here, it all become the same thing from the previous month that you have changed. So you change accordingly. Okay, for the next of the period, since there are some other time that there are very the demand is very high. Let's say nak hari raya, so many more people order cake, brownies, biscuits, so whatever pastries that you sell, so it could be like so much more. Kita raya bulan 5 kan, right? Let's say you nak start this one 2023 lah, okay? Yeah, and then there are certain months that you might have a lower demand, right? So it could be like 180,000 instead of much more than that. Okay. So the rest of it perhaps similar. So it's 2,6. Okay. So okay. Ni I tak tahu lah berapa banyak yang you dapatkan. So I just put like that lah. Alright. So in the end of the year, then this is the amount. So of course the purchase projection will be depending on how much you sell, right? So you can change. Now let's say you know that you can buy your raw materials quarterly, alright? Tapi kalau macam barang bakery, maybe not lah, you don't buy quarterly untuk you nak beli telur lah. You know, eggs you cannot buy quarterly. You have to buy like every day or every week for your eggs, isn't it? Right? But there are some other things that you can buy actually by quarterly. For example, sugar. You can keep it for 3 months, right? Or 4 months. Your flour. What else? Some of the flavors, coloring, and so on lah. Or if let's say you open up a laundry, so the detergent can be bought, let's say, for a quarter, right? So if let's say that happens, meaning to say for the there are things that you buy monthly, there are things that you buy quarterly. So you can just add on more for, let's say, there are things that you can buy quarterly. The raw material could cost you, sorry. Remember, you have to change here. 3,000. It can be used for months. Okay, but there are certain months that you have to buy daily or monthly, so you can put here perhaps 500 ringgit. Okay, and then bulan keempat, then you start to buy 3,000 lagi. Okay, here 500 and 3,000. Betul ke tempat ni? Salah. Okay. And this one 500, 500. This one is 3,000. Understand? Okay. Understand, right? Not all of your raw materials will habis. To say you can buy in larger quantity so that you will be able to get quantity discount. So the price will be cheaper. So that is actually the real case scenario lah. Alright. Next one. So let's say, right, the second year you expect that marketing manager, you already decided second year how much increment could it be for the second year for your sales. So you kata, okay, for the second year we expect we will get 5% increment from the previous year. So 3,000, sorry, 3,617,097 increment by 5%. So 1.05. The second year you have to count manually. Okay, so it will be 3,797,951 0.85. Walaupun dia ada 1.85, you just letak, even though when you enter, dia akan letak, dia akan, what they call it, round up the number. But then you can see in the formula punya bar here, it is actually 0.85 sen lah, 85 sen here. Okay. And then the third year, you are expecting to be increased by 10%, for example. Okay, so 10% from the second year, yeah. So remember, it is from the second year here, from the previous year, right? So 10% for the third year from the second year. So increment by 10%, that means in the third year, you are expecting to sell about 4.1 million, 177,747.035. Okay. Now, for your purchase projection should be increased the same percentage as your sales, right? So here just now, your sales for the second year will increase 5%, third year will increase by 10%. So second year, 5% increment from the 16,000 would be 16,800. Okay? And the third year is increment by 10%. That will be 18,480. Okay, so this will be from your purchases. Right, next one, number 3, collection of sales and payment for purchases. As you open up a bakery or most of the retail stores, you will get your sales in the month of the sale itself. Meaning to say, people pay cash to you. It is not a situation whereby people pay you some amount this month, next month bayar lagi, and next month bayar lagi. Unless you open up a construction company, right, or construction business, whereby people can pay you this month certain amount, next month another amount. Or even some tailor pun dia kata, okay, kalau you nak hantar baju, you bayar dulu deposit 50%. Okay, so bila you collect nanti, then you bayar another 50%. So in that case, then you can put 50% 1 month after sale, right? Then you can enter, you tengok this one yang warna kuning tadi now become 50%. Meaning to say, today you hantar kain nak buat baju, you bayar 50%. In the next month, baju dah siap, then you pay another 50%. Okay, but for a bakery, tak adalah you pergi bakery hari ni, I bayar setengah dulu, next month saya datang lagi bayar 50%. Right? So it will become 100% in the month of sales. For your purchases, okay, now some suppliers allow you to take the products on credits. Okay, that means they give you credits. They said, it's okay, you just take the barang first, next month you bayar. Then you can have that particular luxury of paying 1 month after the purchase. Okay, but since you are new, normally suppliers, they only do this, okay, if they already know you, meaning you are well established, because nanti kalau you dah ambil barang lepas tu tak mampu nak bayar, macam mana? Alright, so typically it will also be in the month of purchase itself. Okay, so I think just leave it as 100% in the month of purchase and also in the month of sales lah. Right, number 4, just leave it as it is. As you know, fixed asset depreciates, right? So they have their own economic life years. So by nature, it is 5 years punya that one lah. Economic lifespan, all right? And then number 5, increase in working capital, if any. Okay, so working capital, as you know, it is your monthly expenses, right? Of course, in the second and also the third year, there will be some possibility increment of the price of your raw material. Meaning to say, tak adalah hari ni harga gula RM2 sekilo, next year mungkin akan naik RM2 sekilo, right? Not? Tapi tak adalah naik sampai 100%, like tiba-tiba harga gula jadi RM4 sekilo. Okay, so you might expect some of the increment in your working capital, 2 to 5% increment. Okay, so it is safe to put, let's say you kata every year it will increase by 3%. Okay, or you kata no, not that much because economy is not that well, so perhaps it's only 2%. Okay, kalau kata tanah 2% pun you taklah 2.5%, letaklah 2.5%. Even though it shows 5 there, but the calculation later on will be shown as 2.5. Okay, you nampak here, right? So next one, ending stock of raw materials and finished goods. Okay, of course, when you buy your raw materials, some of them you can keep it for the next year purposes. Okay, like mungkin gula tak habis guna ke, some of your detergent tak habis guna ke, apalagi business you. So most of your raw materials tak habis. Let's say you can calculate or you can assume how many percent of this ending at the end of the year will be left. Okay, from this 16,000, from this 16,800 and 18,480. You can calculate manually, okay, by putting how many percent you think that the raw materials will be not finished. Okay, so let's say you kata perhaps there could be 5% of your raw materials yang tak habis. Okay, so takkanlah you nak buang, sayang kan? So 16,000 from 5% will be 800 ringgit. So you put here 800. Okay, second year it is 1,800. Again, 5% from this is will be 840. And the third year, 18,480 times with 0.5%, that will be 924. 924. Okay. So finished goods, right? This is related to what you sell. Sometimes perhaps there are things that you cannot sell off. Okay, tak dapat jual habis pun. Unless you open up a cafe or a restaurant lah. Of course, there is no finished goods yang lebih. You dah sedia apa nasi lemak. Takkanlah you nak bawa lagi nasi lemak to the next year kan. Right? But perhaps some bakeries boleh kan? Pun jarang lah, okay, but let's say you are selling, oh yeah, boleh lah, cookies, let's say cookies, you dah buat dalam your cookie jar tu kan, and then tak semua habis jual, then you can still have few stocks, okay, few bottles of few boxes of your cookies that you can actually brought forward to the next year. So you pun assume lah from this amount, how many percent of this will be left to be brought forward to the next year. So perhaps it is only 1%. Okay, sebab you rasa memang you buat pun macam according to the demand, tapi still mungkin ada orang tu cancel order ke apa kan. So 1% from that 3 million, 3617 097 times dengan 1%. 36,170.97. Okay, that will be your ending stock of finished goods for the first year, while second year 3797 and the third year is 41,777. Where did I get this one just now? From the sales projection that you think that maybe it will left be 1%. If you think masih banyak sangat 1% ni, then you reduce it to, let's say 0.05%. Okay. Next one, number 7 is the tax. Of course, you are not a private limited company, so just leave it as it is. Next, business background. You are a partnership, right? So you change this number 1. Here is private limited. You are not a private limited. You are opening up a partnership. So you put 2. Okay. And nature of business. As long as there is a production, meaning you are a manufacturing. Okay, you put 1. Trading, if you open up a supermarket, okay, meaning to say you don't produce anything. Supermarket kan dia tak ada production. What they need is all the raw materials will be from the supplier that you wanted to sell the products. Okay. So that will be trading. Like you wanted to sell a bookstore, also a trading. Stationery shop is also a trading, meaning you don't produce anything. Okay, and then service is when it is purely service. That means you don't have anything that you will produce, okay, but rather you just offer the service like delivery service or spa. You open up a spa or a salon, for example. Okay, so the nature of that particular business is purely service, and you put 3. Okay, but in this case, we're talking about bakery just now, so we just put here 1. Next is the source of finance. Of course, you don't have money to open up this particular business because, yalah, you can't lepas habis belajar, right? Now, what you do is you go and find out how much is the interest rate for the bank that you wanted to borrow from. Okay, go to the bank's website. Tak payahlah nak pergi bank minta borang ke apa, tak payah. Right, so just go to the bank's website, find out how much is the interest rate that they are imposing at the moment. Okay, and how long would you want to loan for that particular amount of money. I think now maximum loan is 9 years. Okay, so you can just put there 9 years, you nak pinjam lama sikit lah. Look at the interest rate, current market interest rate, how much is it? And then that particular bank gives you which interest payment method. Most of the bank give you a flat rate lah normally, okay? Meaning to say every month same amount, every year also same amount of interest that you need to pay. Next is hire purchase. As you can see here, there is no other what I call vehicles kan. So just leave it as it is lah, as your hire purchase, biar je macam tu. Unless you ada beli truck car, you ada beli car for delivery purposes or for marketing purposes, then you can put lah how much is the interest rate for that hire purchase and what will be the duration of your hire purchase agreement. Okay, then click here to look at the sources of finance. All right, so in these sources of finance, you'll be able to see that the implementation cost. That means for you to operate this business, you requires this amount, 159,403 ringgit. Now you can see here warna putih lah. For you, the white cells, you can edit. So working capital, when you wanted to start the business, okay, typically you will actually set aside already some amount that you will need to pay monthly for you to continue operating your business. Just in case, let's say, for the first time you operate, the sales is not that much. So you are scared that next month you cannot afford to pay anymore for your rental, the salary of your workers, and so on. Okay. Sorry. So what happened is that you can actually allocate 2 months working capital in advance. Meaning to say, walaupun you belum start business, you dah estimate we will have some what they call 2 months money for you to pay your monthly expenses. So you change it to 2 months lah. Okay. Tapi kalau tengok daripada you punya sales yang beratus-ratus ribu ni, perhaps it could be just 1 month lah. Alright. And then contingency, of course, contingency, these are the expenses that you never thought can actually happen, right? So you can just put 10%, or if you think 10% is too much, then you can put 5%, okay? But not more than 10% lah. Normally contingency maximum is 10%, okay? Minimum you can put 2% or 3%, right? So in this case, let's say I want to put 5%. So it will be this amount. Therefore, now you will see, again, this will be your cost. When I ask you how much is the total cost for you to open up this business, so you will say total cost for you to open up this business is 152,158 ringgit. Okay, do you have this money? No, you do not have this money. So what you do, you loan from the bank. Okay, when you talk about here, there are loan, hire purchase, and also contribution. Normally hire purchase is only if you buy vehicles, all right? Motorcycle ka, what they call it, the car, truck, or land and building. But in this case, you do not have any hire purchase lah, right? Then you have this particular loan. Automatically, it will put that you will loan 100%. But let's say you have your own contribution. Kita nak buka partnership ni, kita mesti ada sikit duit. Okay, so you think like, okay, how much money should I contribute? Then you check lah seorang-seorang punya bank account, mungkin lah ada RM1,000 kan daripada you punya ASB simpanan kan. Kata okay, never mind, I will use this as RM1,000. So there are 5 of you, you have 5,000 cash in hand. So with that 5,000, what will you spend on? So you tengok lah mana yang you nak spend on 5,000. Okay, you can separate it. Okay, some of them kita beli equipment RM2,000. Okay, so you put that. You will see this one become less. But then if this part, the loan plus your own contribution still equal to your total cost. Okay, it will automatically counted like that lah, computed like that. Okay, so ada lagi yang you nak beli pre-operation, for example. Kata okay, we will put here another 2,500. Okay, and then dekat sini you nak bayar sendiri some of your marketing punya expenses, there 5,000. Okay, but then you tengok you punya loan. Your loan here now become 147,158 ringgit. Takkanlah you pergi bank kata, bank I nak pinjam 147,158 ringgit. Takkanlah 158 ringgit you nak pinjam dekat bank kan. So you can just add more of your cash. Let's say untuk some of your contingency. Now your loan amount, see here, loan amount become a round number, 147,000. Dan bolehlah bank you tu kata dengan you, okay, takkanlah 158 pun you nak pinjam dengan bank kan, walaupun ialah all together is 147,158. Tapi round out it to the nearest, to the biggest thousands lah, right? So this will be your own contribution in cash. Meaning to say, when I ask you how much is the contribution by all the partners, then you kata, okay, all the partners, all together, our partners is contributing 5,158 ringgit for this business, and we will loan 147,000 ringgit. As for us to open up this business, we requires 152,158 ringgit. Understand? Okay, thank you for your answer. Next, you will see your cash flow statement, right? So in your cash flow statement, you tak dapat nak buat ubah apa-apa dah tak dapat. Okay, you just see it as it is. Kalau you nampak ada warna merah ke apa, then you know there is something that is tak cukup duit lah at certain month or that particular year. Okay, everything is good. The moment you see there is a cash deficit, that means this part will be red color. Kalau yang tengok deficit tu meaning red in color. Okay, kalau semua red color, that means okay lah tu. Then you go to your income. Okay, income statement you can click here. So in this income statement, you'll be able to see how much is your raw materials purchases, okay, and then what money that you need to pay, meaning your production cost for the year. Then you will see here. Jangan risau kalau dia ada negatif sini ya, sebab you're talking about you don't have any cash in hand before you start, isn't it? Okay, so towards the end of the year, then you'll be able to see here, right? This will be your profit. Okay, gross profit minus with all your less expenditure monthly semua ni, then you say that for the first year, our profit will be 3.482 million. Okay, second year will be this, and third year will be 4,001,544. Right? Next, you go and see your balance sheets. So in the balance sheets, the rule of balance sheet must be total asset must equal to your long-term liabilities and total equities and liabilities, right? Okay, so you tengok balance tak. Okay, it has to be balanced lah, same amount. Then done. You go to your financial performance. So you'll be able to see here. All right. Now, in this case, liquidity, because you do not have current liabilities, because to calculate current ratio, you have to divide current asset and current liability. Anything divide with zero, memang you tak dapat compute lah kan. So there is no figure, never mind. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so the job of finance manager, after you have all this output, meaning to say from this cash flow, you copy this whole thing, all right? Oops. Right, so you will copy this and then you paste it in your Word document. Okay, you paste it in your Word document. Of course, ia akan nampak kecil lah. Hold on, let me buka my Word document and show to you. Okay, stop presentation first. for your cash flow, you nampak dia macam besar kan? So memang you kena change your layout of your words to landscape lah. Okay, as you already copied just now. Sorry lah, my laptop bila dah buka dia dah lagi. Right, so it will become like this lah. Nampak tak? Of course, tak akan cukup lah kan? Now, in the Excel, in this particular Excel, memang you tak dapat nak edit. Okay, you don't simply delete the cell. Yeah. Here, in the words, after you have copied, right? After you have copied, then you have this thing. You boleh tukarlah table design. Make sure it is fit to the window ke. You know that thing, right? Here, layout here. Auto fit to window, for example. See, you nampak dia dah jadi kecil macam ni. Right? Next, you know that there's nothing here. Nothing here. So you can actually right, and delete this particular rows. So adalah dia sampai bawah sangat. You faham right? So make sure jangan delete yang cells. Okay. So you delete the row yang ada benda. Okay. And then see lah you boleh tukar. I mean like format table so that it will be macam muat lah. Kalau ini besar sangat, then you can actually reduce the size of your one. Memang tak ada lagi to right now. Ni masih besar sangat 6 jadi 5. Okay. Baiklah. Kalau kita suka lah ni suka. So you have your logo, company logo, or your business logo. Okay, let's say your bakery is more brown and then purple the giant. So you change boleh. Boleh tak suka warna hitam. Dia nak letak warna biru, letak warna biru. Okay. Tak nampak sampai sana. Boleh lah warna yang terang sikit. Okay. So say tukarlah ni warnanya kepada warna hitam. Okay, kita warna hitam tukar warna brown. Okay. Kalau you tengok because you also lagi even print, you know. Some of those seniors dia tak ada this ODL they have print. So print pun ada cost lagi kan. So making sure this particular advantage lah nak print kalau banyak kan boring baca. You know macam you tak suka baca yang plain white. Okay. Right. So yeah, kalau this one selalu what they call it change pandai-pandai lah just right. And then next one is your income statement. Okay, so income statement also saying you pay your income statement here. And then you paste it in your document. Okay. Again, whatever you kosong you boleh delete. Right. You know what they want one page boleh didirikan kan, so that you can measure the basis under one in one page. Mana dia ni? Okay, bila you delete the row, make sure memang kosong, jangan tiba-tiba row yang pula terus lain-lain jadinya. Okay. Sampai dah kalau memang tahu tak sekarang ini adalah dia supaya jadi one page. Okay. Dapat one page. Right. Next is your financial performance. Okay, again you can copy this one ada ni this dalam punya words. And lastly is the graph. Okay, the graph is just to show in graphically on your financial performance. Kalau you ada ratio dengan ratio je then place it in your document. Okay. You will see your graph here. Okay. This is what. So let's say you want to color, right? You can choose color that you want, and then whatever style that you prefer. Okay. Mana color pula section macam ni. Tak main kan tak ada sampai kena. Okay. Tak suka mana ni, pilihlah warna yang suka. Right? So that will be the graph. So remember to copy all the graph yang available. When you say there's a curve, right, on the graph, then you can copy lah. Anything that payah copy. Right? Tak nak you copy semua, just simply line lagi. Ini you are not understanding any actual thing. Kalau ada nak tunjuk kan, right? So that ratio and all these things, just copy lah. Tak pernah explain apa lagi. It's supposed to be understood. After all, you are considered kan. So sila you tahu lagi. Okay? Right? So that's all. On the things that you need to actually pay attention to is what the impact here. Okay? The impact. And also here. Tapi di sini banyak-banyak. This one is just to decide which one that you want to pay by cash, which one you want to loan. And remember, make sure the loan amount is round number. Okay, around 1,000. And then you put here, again, everything is based on what you have prepared for your plan, marketing plan, and also operation plan. Alright, and then as I mentioned to you, the purchases or the purchase of your raw materials depending on how you want to buy. Okay, every 3,000, and then you put 3,000 every month. Okay, of course you have to do this manually. Second year, how much is the increment? There will be increment based on how much increment you have decided in your sales. Right? Okay, any questions? Any questions? Do you want to ask me? So,
Not yet. Miss.
Nah, masih buat. So far ada yang merah-merah? Atau semua hitam, semua dapat profit? Semua hitam ah. Okay, good. Right. So for the next 1 hour, you try to do it. Right? And let me know if ada merah ke, ada yang tak balance ke, you don't know how to key in ke, ada formula yang pelik ke, let me know. Okay? Okay. So we can end the Google Meet. So you continue buat tau dalam group.